Hello, I'm Dr. Joshua Plant, and welcome to this Facts and Findings on this week's Education Week. Today we're going to talk about habits. Right now, you may be thinking that you're looking to get good habits, but some of the best things you can do is avoid the bad habits that you're doing. And we're going to talk a little bit about those bad habits and how food is engineered to continually make the bad habits easier and easier for us to fall into. Right now, whether you like it or not, you are a product of your habits. In fact, all of us follow routines day in and day out. Most of us have the same breakfasts, same types of lunch, and our variety of foods and activities vary little throughout our lives. What we need to do if we're looking to change is we need to make those small incremental changes in our daily routines and our habits. What I have here is what many consider would be a typical Western lunch, right? You would see this in your kids' lunches at school, a few Oreos, a soda, and of course the all-encompassing white bread. I'm going to talk a little bit about how this food has been specifically designed and engineered to create more addictive habits. Everything from the stimulants that are used to the removal of specific nutrients, and how this is making our choices of healthy eating more and more difficult. Likewise, I'm going to talk about some powerful supplements that can help us overcome these health challenges that we're facing, and a simple 1, 2, 3 system that can allow us to increase our water consumptions, our nutrient consumption, and ultimately help us live a better health and wellness lifestyle. So the first here, when we talk about the breads and the sodas and the Oreos, the cookies, we all know that they are not good for us, but yet millions upon millions of people consume them on a daily basis. If we know they're not good for us, why do we find ourselves continually gravitating towards those health choices? Well, the truth is that these products have been engineered in such a way that they are causing what is called a dopamine spike in our brain. Dopamine is the reward signal in our brain. It's, for example, what makes a lot of illicit drugs addictive. You'll get this euphoric feeling. For example, when somebody bites into a roll, they're sitting down at a steakhouse, they may find themselves saying, I'm going to just have one roll before the dinner comes. But that first roll was actually probably the easiest one to resist. As soon as that white bread hits your mouth, you're going to have these short carbohydrate chains that quickly break down into glucose. That glucose will then cause what is, as I said before, that dopamine spike in the brain, causing this reward and euphoric feeling to where you find yourselves, even subconsciously, reaching for that second and third roll. That is because, and when you look at the wheat, not only has the wheat been removed of many of the key nutrients, such as the wheat bran and the wheat germ, which contain the B vitamins and the important fibers, they leave behind just the wheat starch, which causes the rapid degradation of those short carbohydrate chains into glucose, which causes that dopamine spike. Which is why, when you look at white bread, not only do we find our children gravitating towards it because it tastes better, we find our children gravitating towards it because it gives them that subconscious euphoric feeling. In fact, many people will actually use what is a natural motivation to help children sequester pain and to create a euphoric bond with their parents because, well, many of you may not realize this, but there is certain sugars in breast milk that will allow children to create that euphoric feeling when they're actually breastfeeding and to create the bond with parents. Scientists and food companies have manipulated that process in our children for the sake of the consumption of the food, to where we find our children not necessarily gravitating towards bonds with us, but maybe golden arches or wonders. And this is what we need to do, is we need to find ways to break these unhealthy habits. The same is true with Oreo cookies. You look at Oreo cookies and the trans fats that are in there, the hydrogenated fats, are designed to not only cause signals in our body to create for more consumption, but are looked at as one of the most damaging components of our health. Same with sodas. Sugary drinks, we know this for an example, both sugary and artificially sweetened drinks, that they will cause a signal in our brain of that sweetness to give us the impression that, either if it is real sugars or not, that we get that spike and that euphoric feeling. We, in essence, are gravitating to this food as a newborn baby does to its mother, because we have ultimately been tricked into thinking that these are giving us proper signals for a reward. The food industry has hijacked our dopamine signal pathway. I want to come over here and talk about how this natural health revolution system, NHR Basic system, can help people create new healthy habits. We want to make the conscious decisions to remove ourselves from this, but it's difficult when we are facing an onslaught of advertisements and manipulated foods that make it difficult to do so. So let's look at how this system works. The system is called 1, 2, 3 because it simply gives us the nourishment our body needs, helps us suppresses our appetite, and then helps cleanse and detoxify our body. Now, the first part, nutrition is key. Moringa oleifera is the most nutritiously dense botanical on earth. We need to get our nutrition naturally and not through synthetic multivitamins. In fact, numerous reports have suggested that the synthetic multivitamins are correlated with everything from autistic children due to the prenatal vitamins to even increases of lung cancer amongst smokers. Multivitamins, which are found not only in the tablets we take, but also in a variety of foods without us knowing, are absolutely damaging to our health. We need to find natural sources of those nutrients. We need to stop looking to the synthetic source. Moringa oleifera is recognized by the scientific and health community as the most nutritiously dense botanical on earth. In fact, it is this botanical that convinced me as a Harvard-trained medical science to lead the traditional path of pharmaceutical discovery and pursue a life of nutritional and natural discovery and education. Moringa oleifera grows throughout the world. Zija International, who has pioneered the commercialization and wide distribution of this botanical, has identified the most nutritiously dense locations of growing Moringa oleifera, namely in India, where you can get the nutrients significantly more in this unique botanical. Now, Moringa oleifera is not a vegetable, it's not a fruit, it's actually a tree. The 90 verifiable nutrients, which is significantly more than any other quote-unquote superfood out there. In fact, you look at kale, which is enriched in maybe 2 or 3 nutrients. Moringa oleifera is enriched in over 90, making this the true superfood, to the tune of where NBC has recognized this as the global trend of health trend of 2018. Moringa oleifera is a tree, and those nutrients are found throughout the tree. Zija International recognizes this and utilizes the leaves, the seeds, and the fruit of the Moringa oleifera tree, giving you the complete nutritional profile of this tree. Other companies may be using the Moringa oleifera name, but they're not using the complete nutritional benefits of the tree. They may be using just a part of that tree. And in fact, genetic analysis of many competing moringas show that, in fact, very few, if any, are genetically pure, suggesting that it may not even be pure Moringa oleifera that they are using. Zija International, using a genetically pure Moringa oleifera, allows for us to get those complete nutrients. Now, following the direction of Trees of Life Research, an independent research group suggests that you can enrich the nutrients of Moringa oleifera up to 40-fold by shade drying the leaves. Here at Zija International, not only do we shade dry the leaves, use the leaves, the seeds, and the fruit, and find it from the most nutritiously dense location of growing, namely India, we then put this in an easy-to-use delivery system where you simply add with 12 to 16 ounces of water, rehydrate the Moringa oleifera leaves, and get the abundance of nutrients. Now, this is designed to be consumed as a food because that is what our body recognizes as a nutrient delivery system. Our body isn't designed to get its nutrients from a capsule or tablet, but rather from the food or drinks that it consumes. This is then designed to where we can put it in a great tasting drink it throughout the day or in a single sitting, and get those nutrients we are looking for. Now, how is this important to help us overcome this addiction? Well, our bodies are designed to get its nutrients from the food we eat, just as I said. But the problem is if we're nutritiously starved, our body is going to continuously look for more and more food to consume because the only way it knows how to get nutrients is through food. And if we're programmed to ultimately gravitate towards this food in a nutritiously starved state, in which over 85% of the developed world is in, according to independent reports, we will find ourselves gravitating again towards this food, which is nutritiously empty, causing us to continually be hungry with expanding waistlines and always tired, meaning our body is unable to convert the caloric energy of these types of foods into adenosine triphosphate, or ATP, which our body recognizes as its true currency, because their nutrients are not able to, are deprived and not able to convert those calories into ATP. So by giving our body the nutrients it needs to convert calories into energy, we find ourselves now able to overcome many of these unneeded appetites, because our body's able to tap into its energy stores around its waistline, around its chin, around our arms, and convert that into energy. So we're going to find ourselves to be a little less hungry. Additionally, because we're able to convert with the abundance of nutrients into caloric energy into ATP, we will find ourselves less tired. A classic symptom of being undernourished and overfed is greater than 1,500 or 2,000 calories a day in diet, but always being hungry and always being tired. If this is you, you are simply being nutritiously starved. You need to get nutrients, and Supermix is a natural way in which you can supplement your body to do so. Now, the second thing we want to do is we want to increase our metabolism and suppress our appetite even further. We have here the XM Burn capsules. This is a 2-capsule dose. I recommend you taking 1 capsule before breakfast and 1 capsule before lunch. They contain powerful stimulants that are designed to increase your metabolism and ultimately facilitate the caloric consumption demand. Now that we're able to convert it to ATP, let's make sure that we grease that pathway to increase our metabolism to give us energy throughout the day. Additionally, using proprietary blends and powerful herbs, natural herbs, we can sequester our appetite not beyond what is natural, but ultimately help sequester our appetite, which has been artificially stimulated through synthetic and adulterated components. And this is the power of that capsule. So in the morning, simply take your Supermix and 1 capsule. Before lunch, take another capsule of the XM Burn. The next thing I want to talk about is the importance of detoxifying. In this system, you will find yourselves with a daily and premium tea. The premium tea should be taken about twice a week, and the days you don't take the premium tea, take the daily tea. The premium tea will help detoxify your body through an aggressive detoxification process about 8 hours after you take the tea. Simply take it in the evening, and about 8 hours later, you'll find yourself with a systemic detoxification process. And I'll tell you why this is so important. Your fat cells, as they are releasing fat, are also releasing a variety of other toxins. Your adipose cells, or your fat cells, are very sticky, oily cells, meaning all of the excess hormones that our body is producing to the synthetic components that are added into our body, all of the toxins and heavy metals and other artificial components that we may feel we are releasing through our body, we are not. Our fat cells, in many ways, are absorbing those in because they are just sticky, oily cells. And as we begin to release those fats and convert it into ATP, we are also simultaneously releasing a lot of those toxins. Those toxins, for example, may be estrogen. Estrogen can promote additional weight gain if it is in our circulatory system too long. Additionally, it is important for us to remove a lot of the waste buildup that is in our body. The average individual has about 12 pounds of waste in them at any one time, and this is due to the lack of fiber that is in their diets. We used to consume about 100 grams a day. Today we're consuming only about 10, which is causing us to ultimately be unable to detoxify our bodies at a regular basis, having an increased amount of toxins going through our systems, which may be promoting weight gain and a variety of other issues. So as you're tapping into these fat cells, burning them and converting them quickly into ATP, we are wanting to make sure we detoxify as well to remove a lot of those toxins that may be building up. The next thing here in this simple system is what we call our Mayo brand of essential oils called Trim and Tone. This is a powerful combination of the only clinical grade essential oils out there that have been proven to work at the cellular level. Simply add a couple of drops of this to your water to drink throughout the day. The most demanding molecule in the fat burning process is H2O. I recommend getting a very purified water that has removed the toxins, which is surprisingly difficult to find today. I'd recommend you look at the more clear purifying unit to do so. Add a couple drops of the Trim and Tone essential oil to accelerate the hydration process of the body, promote greater water consumption, and to facilitate the molecular pathways with respect, again, of converting caloric energy into ATP. Simply add a couple drops throughout the day to all the water you're drinking, consume a Supermix in the morning, Detoxify with the premium tea, and when you don't detoxify with the premium tea, take the daily tea on those off nights, which will further help make sure you avoid those late night sugar cravings, and then utilize the XM Burn. This is a powerful system that can help reprogram our body to avoid these types of foods and ultimately gravitate towards natural supplements. In reports that we've looked at of individuals following a program similar to this, one of the most common reports that individuals gave is that they find themselves in an unprovoked, unbiased survey not drinking sodas anymore. And simply what is happening is you're reprogramming your body, you're reprogramming your taste buds to begin helping you create those healthy habits. I look forward to seeing you next month with the Education Week as we talk about the global health trends and how ultimately ZJ International is at the cutting edge of innovations in the supplement space. I look forward to you next week.